It's podcast time again, and this is the Joseph Evaldi podcast. On tonight's podcast, I discuss about paying yourself first. No, I am not a financial advisor, but I've read the book Start Late, Finish Rich by David Bach that he came out with in 2006, and it seems like a good idea. I will talk about that during the podcast. But first, I want to discuss about my blog, who I introduced Kim to, and we are working on a blog at josephevaldi.net. She talks about her animals, about upcoming books, or books that we've read. With her, it's her favorite actor. With me, it's about everything else. Similar to what I talk about at the podcast. I try to relate. So tonight, I'm talking about paying yourself first, which tomorrow I'll be writing a blog about that at josephevaldi.net. And should be a good blog that I write, so check that out. Alright, let's get down to business. Paying yourself first. How do you do it? Well, as David Bach mentioned, we spend how much on small purchases, whether it's that chocolate that we want, that coffee that we drink, or as he would call it, the latte factor. Now, these small purchases add up. Let's just say if you are going to a coffee house, and let's just say you were buying a drink for your significant other. That's about $36 out of your pocket. Now, if you go to Starbucks, it could be maybe $40 or $50. Now, we have other small purchases. Let's just say if we buy chocolate every day, that's about $1. And small purchases like that add up. And what happens? It's basically lost money. David Bach said in his book that you gotta pay yourself first. Whether it's 10% or 15%. I know others have heard this saying before, but it speaks volumes and it's true. When I was younger, I started thinking about 10%, but I wasn't sure how to do it. Then 401ks came, and it made it easy to put your money aside. On top of that, they match you. So basically, for saving your money pre-taxes, you're putting your money aside. develop from that. Now, if you have a dream, why not keep that job that you have? Maybe you want to do a business, but you keep that job on the side as part-time or maybe full-time, and you'll see that money grow. Extra income won't hurt. And working might help. You could put that money aside and let it grow. Why should you do this? Well, we are under the assumption that we don't have any money and we live like that. And we become broke. We spend on the things that we don't need or don't want and everything else. Well, what I'm here to say is you don't have to give up on those things. You can enjoy that. However, at the same time, you put money aside and let it grow and it compounds. Many are not comfortable with money, I understand. But it can do amazing things, such as help people who are in need. But you have to help yourself first. I'm going to discuss more about paying yourself first after the break.
Why putting all your eggs in one basket isn't a good idea for retirement. Most people like to think what is easy and what is convenient. I am like most people. It was until my life started crashing down on me that I then realized I have to do something and do something quick. I'm like most people who are struck with the fact that they don't have much savings put away for their retirement. It's safe to say many people live for today, while some work smarter. That is why it is good to follow David Bach's philosophy by automating everything, and it will add up. This guarantees you will have money put aside and you can allocate it. It is never safe to have all your eggs in one basket. This is how you can go broke because one crash and all your money that you put aside can be wiped out. This has happened in times of crisis, such as in 1929, the 1970s, 1987, 2000 and 2001, and 2008. People banked on the financial systems to be there, and they weren't there. They had to do something different. Everyone had to change their ways and start to allocate their money. In times of depression, it challenges you to think outside the box. It forces you to strategize what you can do with your life. In times like this, you reevaluate what's going on with your situation and find a better solution to life's problem. Some resort to peaceful protest, and some may resort to rioting. I know the Baltimore problem now stems from a greater picture of what is going on in America. In times of unrest, there is stress all around the country. It is a great time to make some changes. This is where great innovations happen. It challenges you to make plans to reinvest. This can be through going to college and re-educating yourself. This can be through investing your money on a talent you have that you might want to excel in. And if you're in your 50s and 60s, maybe you want to take up something different than what you've been doing. Maybe it's something you've always wanted to do, but never got the chance to do. Also, with allocation, you can decide how to put aside your money. There is the 401k, and there are IRAs, insurance, bonds, and other investments you can make too. But I will focus on the 401k, the IRAs, insurance, and bonds. In the next chapter, I will discuss the previous history of Social Security, pensions, and the pros and cons of the 401k and 403b.
That was retirement. Start Thinking About Your Retirement, written by Joseph Vivaldi, narrated by Ken Aiken, that can be found at Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Now available in paperback and on the Amazon Kindle. Back to the podcast. Retirement. Now we think of... I'm going to discuss another point that was mentioned in David Bach's book, which I just read, Starting Late, Finishing Rich. Is the notion of joy and happiness. And it's the notion of we have all this money and we gotta wait to retirement to enjoy life. Well, David Bach says, or talks about in the book, that you don't have to wait to enjoy your life. If you're miserable now, you can be miserable later. If you don't have the time to do whatever you need to do, you should do it. If you have a dream that needs to be fulfilled, you should fulfill it. Now, putting money aside and paying yourself first is just one part. But you truly want to build the dream. You might want to build that company. You might want to build that non-profit. You might want to build a dream that you've been working on for a very long time. You might want to do a lot of different things with that money. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to blow it. Having a plan is all there is to do it. Now, I know what I said about paying yourself first. And this is the other part of retirement. Of living life and enjoying every moment there is of it. Not squandering it, but enjoying it. Many of us don't have that chance to do it. Many of us get settled in our jobs, worried about how much money we make, worried about life, have everything hit us in every direction, and then everything goes good for us. And we start planning, and we start doing what needs to be done. But through that, we get to a stage where we missed our lives. And is that what we truly want to do? Do we want to miss our lives? Or do we want to enjoy it with the time that we spent with others? In life, there's people we know who might not even care about our dreams. And there's people who do. Shouldn't we be spending our time with the people who care about our dreams, who wish for our success, and stuff like that? Don't we wish we could spend our time enjoying life to the fullest